Yeah. Elevating and getting to the next stage also requires a lot of discipline. We talk about consistency, and it sounds kind of out of reach, but if you think about it, with our bad habits or the things that are easy to do, we're being consistent with those things, right? Think about it like this: if you skip the gym and you on the couch and you watching television one day, and then you skip the gym again and you watching television the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. Boy, these boys got some health. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. if you skipping a gym all those times, you are being consistent. You very much are being consistent, extremely so. And then you can't get upset about you know what that consistency brings is because you're doing it every single day. So if you being lazy every day, bro, expect no reward.
Who said you can't use gaming to encourage people? Who said you can't use gaming to teach people the ways? Not me. Welcome to the new episode of Gems and Gaming. Get ready as we log in to share some life wisdom and put you on game. Let's get it.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? I do not remember the last thing I was doing. It looks like it's probably like a Dark Brotherhood, not Dark Brotherhood, Brotherhood of Steel mission. Let's see. Yeah, speak to Elder Maxon. See where my guy is at. What happened to her?
Point out what you need and I'll get right on it.
All right, No, I'm good. Let's just go ahead and get up out of here. I don't know if I'm playing survival mode. I don't think I am. Or I'm not. All right, cool. So look, y'all, it's been a minute since I done this, and I say that every single time. I'm always talking about being consistent, yada yada yada. But I think more than just being consistent, and I think this happens over time as you are more consistent with what you do. But I think I was afraid of my own potential, or afraid of being that guy. All right. I don't know if this is the case for everyone. Like a lot of the times we are told to stay in our lane, right? Stay in your own lane, stay in your own lane, stay in your own lane. And sometimes we let other people decide what that lane is for us. So we say, we're going to stay in our own lane. But then we're letting other people tell us or limit what that lane is supposed to be for us. So for example, I started my own business. I started Pitch Play. I was making 140 grand. I tell this story all the time. It's starting to honestly get kind of old and irrelevant the more I tell it. Just because it's like, all right, what have you done since then? And since then, I've helped a lot of people grow, elevate. I've done a lot. But as I teach a lot of people, hold on, let's see what they're talking about.
Supervising the transfer of the Fat Man warheads to the prison. They'll provide quite an edge to our arsenal. I've also ordered a detachment to occupy the location and use it as a staging area to protect the eastern side of the airport. All in all, you handed us quite a valuable location.
It was an honor fighting.
I'm glad you. In order to bring the institute to its.
All right, yeah. I had to see exactly what was going on. Yeah, we're just gonna skip through this. Just do the mission. All right, but I've done a lot in terms of helping other people grow their brands. I have some main. I'm saying main just because I'm seeing the word main, but I have some major clients. I say I've had some people who are just starting off, and I'm able to help guide them and get them to a certain point. But the more I teach people and the more I'm helping other people elevate, I realize how much of the advice that I'm giving to other people that I'm not doing. And, a lot of us probably do this. Like, a lot of us probably know what it takes to be great, and we put those expectations on other people. I mean, it's much smarter for us to, instead of like giving that advice to everyone, taking that advice ourselves, right? You know what they say. A lot of people say do as I say, not as I do, because they know how hard it is to do the right thing. And, I'm kind of low-key tired of, like, living that way. I'm tired of knowing what the right thing is, right? Like the hard thing. Coaching other people and then giving myself cutting myself slack in certain areas just because I know I'm helping so many other people. I'm like, it's all good, I could take a day off or take 2 days off. Nah. That's low key kind of weak and honestly really hypocritical of me if you think about it. Like, it's cool to teach and guide people. You gotta do what you gotta do with the resources that you have. But I think it's much better, and this is, my opinion, but I think it's much better to lead by example. Everyone says that. I actually saw an argument disproving that concept of why, leading by example is overrated. I don't know, man. Why? Like, it might be time. It's easier for people to see the way when you actually are living the right way. If people don't see it, then it gets kind of hard for them to believe it. That's just what I'm learning as I move up and grow and do certain things. Like, some of the stories that I have just in my experience as an entrepreneur. Nah, let me get that money back, homie. Some of the stories that I have just as an entrepreneur it's amazing. Like, I've experienced some of the most amazing things and stories. Nothing to brag of, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, like, I've learned a lot and done a lot. But because I keep learning so much more, I know I have so much more to offer clients or people that need help. But at a certain point, it starts to be like, well, if you know all those things, then why are you not doing it? At a certain point, it starts to low-key sound like a fairy tale. Because if I tell y'all certain things, but I don't really have the proof or the evidence to show you, then, it's really just up to your trust in me, which is, that's great if you believe me based off my words. It's great if you believe me based off the things that I do, but it's so much better when you're also being held accountable and people, have you under a microscope and they trying to see, are you really about that? Are you really doing the things that you say you're doing? And then they can't find anything to disprove that you're the person that you say that you are. People going to try, don't get me wrong. And look, if I ever got popular, I'm pretty sure videos and rumors and everything will pop up out of nowhere. Stuff I probably forgot, didn't know existed. Some things that I'm insecure about probably will never show up in my life. It'll probably be something vastly different, brand new, that you never even think about. But are you going to worry about those things that potentially could happen, or you're going to worry about hate, I say? You going to worry about those things for what? I say it like this: if you weren't valuable, then hate wouldn't matter. The only reason hate matters is because you are someone of value. If you don't have any value, trust me, like, rumors about you or hating on you per se, man, it doesn't matter. Why would it matter? Like, if you're a quote unquote nobody, you need to be doing something of value for people to really for stories about you to really matter. You know, that's just what I'm learning. And then as you start to elevate and grow, you realize that you can't take everyone with you because everyone's on their own journey. They grow at their own pace, right? Like some of the people that's around you right now, they're fun and good for you right now. As you start to say, all right, I got to make a change here, make a change there, they might not be good for you in that moment. You know, they probably aren't ready to grow up, and you are. You know, you got to be willing to sacrifice certain things to get to that next level. It's funny because it's funny because when the J. Cole and Kendrick beef happened, I've never really listened to Drake at all. But I was in the gym this morning, and there's a song by The Game featuring Drake, and it's called 100. And he's talking about how talking about you can't talk, bro. I'm trying to buy. He's talking about how the more he succeeds, the less friends that he has. And before I started to, make some changes, and before I started to like sacrifice things that I if I'm being honest, I was afraid to sacrifice because I didn't want to lose friends, or I didn't want to seem, like I was switching up. It's like, nah, you gotta grow up at some point. Like, you gotta quote unquote change or switch up if you're trying to elevate. How you gonna stay the same and elevate? That doesn't even make sense. If you're trying to get to a next level, then your life is gonna look different. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. I mean, it is what it is. It's probably a hard truth. It's not really something that I ever thought I would be even comfortable saying or preaching, but it's the truth. Like, if you really want to get to the next level, sometimes you got to sacrifice certain things. It could be your friend for 20 years. It could be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could really be somebody that you just can't imagine life without, that you got to cut off just in order to get to the next level. Doesn't that suck to hear? It even sucks to say, but it's like, it's a part of the game, bro. It's a part of the game. It's real. It's real talk. I mean, it's real talk. Like, trust me, it's not something I'm like happy to talk about, but I am confident sharing because it's just a part of the game. Like I said, man, one thing I say is like, how do I get out of this? Okay, one thing I say is being real with yourself is knowing, oh, I got a cheat mod? Is that how I got so much ammo? Alright, let's do a mission. I feel like I got everything. I need to drop some guns off though, because I got a lot of weapons. I don't know if I need those weapons, but let's see. We're gonna put some of these star weapons up. I might need them for later. Who knows? Who knows? All right, well, yeah, let's do a mission. Let's see. I'm not sure what exactly I'm doing, but let's go ahead and do this mission. Yeah. Elevating and getting to the next stage also requires a lot of discipline. We talk about consistency, and it sounds kind of out of reach, but if you think about it, with our bad habits or the things that are easy to do, we're being consistent with those things, right? Think about it like this. If you skip the gym and you on the couch and you watching television one day, and then you skip the gym again and you watching television the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. Boy, these boys got some health. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. If you skipping the gym all those times, you are being consistent. You very much are being consistent. Extremely so. And then you can't get upset about, what that consistency brings is because you're doing it every single day. So if you being lazy every day, bro, expect no reward. You know, I mean, it's just the truth. So, my God, we think, oh, I just gotta work out and be consistent working out, Oh, but that's so hard. It's like, sure, potentially that can be difficult, but at the same time, isn't it worse to sit on the couch every day for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and then never, ever, 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 ever get the reward that you have been hoping for and dreaming for your entire life? That's, you gotta think about those things. That's the difference between consistency with our bad habits and the consistency with discipline. Everyone is consistent with something. You just got to decide on what that something is going to be. I mean, just keeping it a buck with you. It's funny because I have a giant armor on right now, and they haven't found me. That's so interesting. They're shooting in my direction, but they definitely have not found me. So, look, man. Found me. Everyone is consistent with something. Everyone is consistent with something. You just get to decide now on what that something is. Plain and simple. There are certain things I had to give up. Like I used to, and if you, follow me and watch any of my other content, I used to play Overwatch like crazy, a crazy amount of time. Not just for gyms and gaming. Like once I turn it off, like I'm, all right, I gotta get a couple wins. I would play consistently, just constantly playing Overwatch. I had to sacrifice. I had to literally delete my account, and because I know it's so easy to download the game that just deleting uninstalling the game is like you'll install it again in like 5 seconds. So I had to really say, okay, I need to make a huge sacrifice with something. So for me, it was just like, let me delete my account because it's the progress that you really don't want to sacrifice. The armor and the skins and stuff like that. Like you really don't want to sacrifice those things, or at least I didn't. But that's just that's what I had to do in order to really elevate and get to the next level. And that's a part of sacrificing, right? So now I had to not just cut off one thing. Now the question is, what am I going to do with that extra time? What am I going to be consistent with? These are the next questions in elevating. So what am I going to be consistent with now? So for me, it's started being working out, swimming. I was talking about it on the last video I uploaded, or one of the videos I uploaded. And, now those are the things that I'm going to have to be consistent in and replace my time with certain things. So now I'm going to have to add discipline to my schedule, and stay consistent with the good habits versus just the bad. Right? We all are consistent with something. Don't get it twisted. You think you're afraid of consistency, but in reality, you're being consistent with something. We all are. I mean, plain and simple. So now what we're going to do is make sacrifices to the people around us, and then make sacrifices to the habits that we are, the habits that we're producing. Now, sometimes you don't have to wonder who's for you and who's not, if I'm being honest with you. Sometimes they'll let you know. If I'm being honest, sometimes they're like, oh no, you kind of ruining the vibe, bro. I thought we was having fun, I thought we was doing this, I thought we was doing that. Now you switching up, now you changing. And sometimes they'll just leave you. You won't even have to do nothing. And also you'd be surprised at who stays. Don't worry about what other people are doing for you to make a change in your life and for you to grow. If they rock with you, they rock with you, and if they don't, they don't. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And you know, also you gotta give people a chance to grow. Like they might not rock with you today, but they might come back to you later and be like, you know what? I understand you. I understand it now. Like that's what you know. You just never know. But all I say for you, and you know, I'm talking to you, but really it's just lessons that I had to learn. I'm saying for you, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be that person, be that guy, be that gal. Like, don't be afraid to be her, be him. Like, you might be the answer the world needs, and you know, you might be just very nice, and you want everyone else to feel good, or you know, you want everyone else to be your friend or whatever. Man, that junk is overrated. Straight up. Straight up. The more success you have, the less friends you'll have. Isn't that crazy? Doesn't that even sound off? But I do think it's the truth. Oh, you're not on my oh, bro. My bad. I thought we was like homies. Oh, I thought you were like, no, they going crazy. All right, hold on. Let's figure this out. Yeah, he can't see me supposedly. Yeah, he can. All right, here we go. Let me talk to you real quick. Let's have a quick conversation. Come on. Let's have a conversation. All right. That's one down. Come on, let's talk real quick. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Oh, this might be the enemy, yeah. Yep, it's over with. Yep, it's over with. I'm stuck. Can't get out. But he can still see me. It's all good. Let's talk. Who's the next person I need to have a conversation with? Come on. Oh, we out. Yeah, let's talk real quick. I said let's talk real quick. Also, be yourself, man. You never know what you do that people will really, really rock with. You really never know. You might be the coolest, like, break dancer. Cool. I mean, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I do know you should go for it. whatever it is you into, you never know who might rock with it. Listen, I was super self-conscious when I started doing gyms and gaming. I started like gaming and trying to spit wisdom and, you know, give life while playing games. I had no idea who would be into it. I still don't, if I'm being honest, but I really don't need to know. I know I'm into it. So if you rock with it, I'm happy. Like, I appreciate that. But if you didn't, I'm still happy. Like, I'm still do my thing. So, you know, you should do the same thing. Like, you know, you never know who's rocking with you. You never know who's into what you're into. Just a million and one things that might be something that every single person in the community that you're building has been waiting for, and you might be the one to do it. Just being honest. Just, you know, just never know, man. You just never know. That's all I'm saying. It says optional, start the search. What do you mean optional? What else? Okay. Let's see how long we've been recording. 23 minutes. You know, I like to keep these gyms and gaming short. We can continue to do this the next time. Let me at least go repair my armor real quick. Well, I guess that was my cue anyway, because my camera died. So, look, man, we might as well end it. I see what's going on here. We're gonna pose real quick, and then we're gonna be out. Look, y'all take it easy and God bless.